Hello friends, welcome back again to my channel Study Buzz. In this video, I'm going to explain the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore. So, this poem is one of the vastly read and discussed poems of Rabindranath Tagore. It was originally composed in Bengali, possibly in around 1900, under the title Prarthana, meaning prayer. It appeared in the volume called Naivedya in 1901. Later in 1911, Tagore himself translated the Bengali poem into English, and that translated version appeared as a poem 35 in his anthology Gitanjali. And this was published by the Indian Society London in 1912, and Rabindranath Tagore got a Nobel Prize for Literature for his anthology Gitanjali in 1913. So, when this poem was written, India was under the British rule, and people were eagerly waiting to get their freedom from the British rule. The poem is written in the form of a prayer to God, the Almighty, for true freedom for his country. So, this poem reveals Tagore's own concept of freedom throughout the poem. So, in the first line, the poet prays to the God, to the Almighty, that his countrymen should be free from any fear of oppression and force compulsion. He wishes that everyone in his country has his head held high in dignity. In other words, we can say, according to him, he is praying a truly free country where every person should be fearless and should have a sense of self dignity. In the second line, the poet dreams of a nation where knowledge would be free. Education should not be restricted to the upper class only, but everybody should be allowed to acquire knowledge. Not only that, the children should learn freely from the nature and the world around them. They should not be forced to memorize some predetermined lessons. And that is the typical concept of education by Tagore. He thinks that everybody should be educated. And in the next two lines, the poet emphasizes the unity of not only of his countrymen but also of the entire world. He thinks there should be no division among people based on their caste, creed, color, religion, or any other baseless superstitions. Uh, in other words, we can say prejudices and superstitions should not be there, should not divide people in groups, and should not break their unity. In next line, Tagore writes that he wants a nation where people are truthful. They should not be superficial, and words should come out from the depth of their hearts. People should be truthful. In the sixth line of the poem, the poet wants everyone to work hard to reach their goal, and in the long run, to reach perfection, they should work hard. He thinks they should not be tired of working. People should not be tired of working. People should not be lazy and ignoring their work. In next line, line number 7, the poet compares reasons or logical thinking to a clear stream, and in the next line he compares did habits or superstitious beliefs to a dreary desert. He wants the stream of reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudices. In short, we can say people's thought should be monitored by rational thinking, not by superstition. Logic should rule over the old baseless beliefs. In line 9 and 10, the poet wishes his countrymen to be progressive and broad minded. He wants that their minds are led forward to ever widening thoughts and action by the Almighty. In short, we should be open minded and do something unusual or extraordinary, overcoming all the narrowness of mind. In the final line of the poem, the poet addresses God as Father. He asks him to awaken his country into such a haven of freedom where all these above conditions meet. The poet prays to the Almighty and he says him as Father to raise or to lift his country in such heights where freedom would be realized at its best. He is actually praying that God awakens his countrymen so that they come out from the darkness of ignorance, prejudices, disunity, and all other evils. Finally, in the poem, the poet's message is very clear. If all the people of a nation are not wise enough to lead a happy and peaceful life free from all evils, they cannot enjoy their freedom well. So, the poet only he is not talking about only political and physical freedom, but he wants that we should have fearless minds. Only political freedom is not so important unless we are fearless, self-dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hardworking, and broad-minded enough to enjoy it fully. So, the central idea of the poem is that because it was written at the time when India was under the British rule, so by yearning for an awakened country where there would be freedom of mind and the spirit, the poem invokes deep patriotic feelings among the readers. And by praying for a freedom of spirit, education, and work, the poem actually highlights the then prevailing conditions of country subjugation, discrimination, superstitious beliefs, and prejudices. Throughout the poem, the poet has yearned, prayed, appealed for a country which would be the haven of freedom, thus giving us the reader, as a reader, a state to aspire for. The poem has always had a global appeal and is relevant even today. The same yearning continues, the yearning for a world where there would be freedom of the spirit, dignity, where people would not have any kind of fear or subjugation or operation. So the poem consists of 11 lines in total, and these are not divided into stanzas. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.